No, not a single person like reached out to me. Not Daft, not even Beta, who was a part of it, who kind of co-signed on the whole thing because she was like a VA in it.
It's there that I found out the truth. Daft Pina used to be a tracer himself.
This is the moment where Daft goes fucking crazy. I think there is absolutely no justifiable defense for this tweet. Long before that tweet came out, I received several emails linking your real face and name to this account. So sure, I sent a friend request. Let's video call and look down your history, bro.
If you wanted to make a video against James, there were much better ways you could have gone about it. You've exploited Dangle the same way you used James did. It honestly comes off as hypocritical.
I hate this channel.
No! No!
That one was vile.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Kickstarter Crap.
So I've been trying to figure out a way to start this video and make it good. You know, try to make it spicy and entertaining and, you know, aesthetically pleasing. And I couldn't think of anything. But I feel like someone's already done exactly what I'm looking for. The person that this video is actually about, Daft Pina. So why don't I just show you the clip I'm talking about so he can kind of summarize the video for me. Take it away, Daft.
On the internet, you will meet a lot of interesting people. Sometimes even your hero. They might display themselves as heartwarming, charming, and family friendly, so surely when you speak to them, they're all that they're cracked up to be.
Daft Pina. I mean, he said it, not me. But before I get ahead of myself, let me rewind a little bit. What the hell even is a Daft Pina? Well, Urban Dictionary describes him as a beta male, hypocrite, and bad YouTuber. And I mean, they aren't wrong. But Oxford Dictionary describes him as an art and animation criticism channel that focus mostly on YouTube animators and Twitter artists. And all the people that he makes videos about just so happen to have a higher follower count than him. It's weird coincidence, right? I mean, I was actually a huge fan of Daft's for a while, like a long time, and I'd be lying if I said that he didn't influence me in any way. He honestly influenced me a lot, from his ability to talk to people, quadruple his follower count, and get them to even like appear in his videos, to his style and presence that made him really unique. And hell, I was mostly impressed by his moral authority and how he presented himself. I was a huge fan of people like Leafy and iDubbbz, and they were entertaining and they made really good points sometimes, but they were kind of cancer majority of the time whenever they were in the public spotlight. But Daft has always had this good sense of morality that I can relate to personally, that really correlates with what I wanted to do in this community that I've been looking up to for a long time. But recently he's messed up a lot, like a lot, in a few major ways, whether that be his clear manipulative tendencies, glaring hypocrisies and flaws that shine through, or his obsession with his public appearance and trying his hardest to cover up his shady, not good past. Now, if you haven't heard anything bad about Daft Pina, it would make sense. You're probably like, Advil, what are you talking about? You dumbass? What do you mean? What do you mean hypocrisy? What do you mean shady past? What are you talking about? And I got you. I'll fill you in. But to make sure the structure, but I got you. I'll fill you in. Don't worry, I got you. Just to make sure this video has some structure, and just because I think it's a little cute, I'm gonna be picking some damning specific evidence for each one of the examples I did earlier that kind of make his reputation hard to believe. And let's just jump into it. Hypocrisy is described as the practice of claiming to have moral standards or belief to which one's own behavior does not conform, or in my words, ruh-roh. But to be honest, hypocrisies are kind of Daft Pina's thing. I mean, you could make one of those bingo boards of just to check off how many hypocrisies he has. I mean, if you actually decide to pay attention to, you know, his videos, which I get it, it's really difficult. But let me just real quick run through some of Daft's smaller hypocrisies just to warm you guys up for what's about to come.
Ready? Go!
Daft calls out tracing in every video he does, but he used to trace, and it's worse because he called out Didus for making money while tracing.
He profited off of someone else's art, which is partially how Didus got a lot of subs in the first place due to the shout out from Anime Man.
And he traced for commissions. Daft is a white knight for social justice, which is fine, but he used to just be as bad. He called out Antoons for sexualizing a kid and a drawing, but he used to get paid to do the same. We'll call out people like Tim Tom, but as soon as they became friends, he would delete the video and say that was unnecessary. Because as long as you're friends with Daft, you're abstained of all criticism. All Epstein had to do was just be friends with Daft, and then he wouldn't have gotten he would have gotten gamered. And he got Tro to say this on his video about Foot of a Ferret.
James, Jaiden, and all these other animators means that he has that motive to be a bit more biased to gain their favor.
And the worst is the Discord server. His Discord server's unspoken rule is you can suck him off, stroke his big old banana as much as you want, but as soon as you say one hint of criticism, you get a strike and taken down for causing a commotion. There are so many more examples, but these are the most entertaining in my opinion. And yes, by the way, you heard me right. He used to be a tracer. We'll get to that later on. We'll talk about that in a bit. But right now we have a more pressing matter, which is the Ethereon video. So let's take a look back at the Ethereon video, which in hindsight is absolutely hilarious. So every good story needs a little bit of exposition, so let me give it to you real quick. And at the end, once I lay out all the facts of what happened, I'm gonna retell the story from the top without any bias and Daft Pina's little grubby hands and, you know, just make it seem fair. So Ethereon Art is a Twitter artist that draws mostly lewd and NSFW drawings of his OCs or anime characters, you know, stuff like that. Ethereon is a black male. Make a mental note of that. I want you guys to write that down, because that's going to be really important later. So keep that up here, okay? Ethereon got in some controversy with Daft Pina after Daft made a video on him calling him a racist, misogynistic incel. Oh my god. Who fucking cares? All of the isms, you know? Daft's video was mostly about Ethereon's semi-public Discord, which made a lot of not PC-friendly jokes, which I have to admit personally, some of them not the best look, especially outside looking in. A lot of it was taken out of proportion. Whoa, wait a minute, gay ass. You almost skipped over some key details. By taken out of proportion, I mean completely cut out of context. Like this tweet here where he completely misses the point, and the tweet says, I wouldn't be caught dead supporting any community when I can barely support myself. Don't fall for that colorful emotional shit. I'm not going back to the dollar menu. Which, with the context that Daft said, which is he doesn't feel like supporting the LGBTQ, it could be bad, but no. The tweet, which he did not censor out at all, is saying that if he cannot financially support himself, what is the point of financially supporting other communities? He does not want to be homeless. Another thing he cuts out of context is Ethereon's guest appearance on Shreddit, which is a show where they find really cringy Reddit posts and tear it apart and make fun of it and crack jokes.
I think I'm looking forward to cracking up.
And one of the posts from r/FDS, or female dating strategy, was so cringy, and it talked about how women weren't allowed to have credit cards in the 1970s. And he cut a joke that Ethereon made saying that I ain't gonna give a bitch a credit card.
Weren't even allowed to have credit cards until 1970. All financial matters had to have a personal signature from her husband. Her husband, of all people. Women.
Her husband!
Her fucking husband!
By not giving the bitch a credit card, though, I think that was the smartest thing that they were doing back then. We had a little more brain cells back then. Dude, bitches is my money.
But he took that as him being sexist. Fucking retarded. Pretty much every screenshot that Daft used was taken out of context, even the jokes, a little bit out of context, but I'll get to that in a bit. Anyways, back to your regularly scheduled program. So Daft Pina looks like Squidward. The jokes were the same as some of Daft's friends have made and still make to this day, but that's besides the point. The jokes mostly consist of making fun of the LGBTQ, black people, minorities, trans people, pretty much everyone that you can make fun of, the whole 9 yards. So Aether took a while to respond, and most people thought he would just never do it and his career would just be over. But he responded with a quote tweet that said, "Are you seriously gonna make fun of a little gay black man for saying the dreaded N-word and F slur?" It was a claim that was met with a lot of skepticism, and we'll get into that later, but it was insane that Daft wouldn't give him an interview. He retweeted a Beta Inferno tweet that said, "You don't deserve one because you're all the isms. You're everything that Dave Chappelle is." I 100% agree with Aether. It's weird because, you know, he's given interviews to all these other people, so why not Aether? He's not that hard to contact. His DMs are constantly open. So I decided to take advantage of that, and I actually snagged an interview with Aether. He was so gracious to give me one. So I'm gonna play a bit of that, and I'm gonna be uploading the full interview on my second channel. So if you want to fact check me, just do that. So I'm here with Ethereon. Is that how you say it?
Ethereon Art. Yes, that's exactly the pronunciation.
Perfect. So what did you think about the video that Daft made on you?
I swear to God, it was the best public, like, free publicity I've ever gotten.
Did Daft, before like making the video or even starting it, did he ever reach out to you and ask for like a statement or interview or just talk to you about the criticisms?
Absolutely not. No, I didn't know who the hell he was. No, not a single person like reached out to me. Not Daft. God, Fucking nobody. Anybody who had a problem with me didn't know me for one. Wasn't anywhere in contact with the kind of things that I was saying or doing. No, this was a very opportune moment to see exactly who would crawl out of the woodwork and like jump on this bandwagon against me once everything unfolded. Why I gave it a couple of days before I tried to rebuttal anything.
How did you feel that he didn't feel like you needed an interview? You don't deserve one. How do you feel about that? But he would let people like Cosmodore, like pedophiles and groomers, they deserve one, but you didn't.
Best possible thing, because had either of them, any of them, had the slightest inkling to be like, well, I don't know, let's see where this fucker's coming from, they would have gotten a heavy dose of I can't work with any of this information here. I absolutely love that they showed me zero fucking courtesy. That was their greatest and most grave fucking mistake. Just I get little inklings of things here and there that I have to quote unquote deal with because of there's still remnants of people who are like siding with Daft here and there, and I check their account and they're like a bot or some shit.
So the claims they made that you were transphobic, racist, homophobic, all the phobias. Do you think that you genuinely are, or is it just jokes?
Yeah, no, it is all just jokes, and man, there is
no bias, no like prejudice, no nothing.
My only bias is just being genuine and being superficial, and a lot of these motherfuckers happen to have a ton of people on both sides, but the superficial's winning, and I hate them. That's it.
You see how easy that was, Daft? I only have 70 followers on Twitter. You easily could have gotten in contact with him, but he didn't deserve it. But Advil, you're racist. You talk to a racist. I mean, oh god. No, I don't think any of the jokes are that funny. Honestly, looking at them, they're not that funny. But humor is subjective, so I can't be mad at someone for finding them funny or entertaining. The same people who find Daft Pina funny and endearing, and the same people who find those jokes funny are both the same kind of retarded. Again, subjective, but also both parties are missing a few brain cells. So now that you have majority of the information, you understand the context of what happened, and you even heard from the accused, let me try to repaint the story with all of this context in it. Try to make a story that makes sense. By the way, there's so much more to this Ethereon story that I haven't talked about yet, but that's going to be important much later. So stay tuned for that. It's the spiciest part for right now. Let me recap the story of Ethereon. So our story starts with the main character, Ethereon Art. He's a Twitter artist with around 80,000 followers at the time, and he was slowly growing, slowly on the rise to being one of probably the biggest NSFW lewd Twitter artists right now. He made a lot of hentai of anime girls, standard Twitter stuff. And Ethereon had a video made on him by Daft Pina, a art criticism and commentary channel. Daft called Ethereon racist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic, probably the worst stuff in the book that you can call a Twitter artist. The problem is, all the claims that he made was based on evidence that just wasn't there, or out of context jokes or out of context screenshots that he could have easily gotten the context for if he just thought about it for a second. And the worst thing is, he took away Aether, a gay black man, his right, give his side and defend himself because he didn't deserve it, because he was the bad guy and the boogeyman that Daft Pina wanted to paint. Daft Pina is someone whose moral high ground is his platform. He makes videos on pedophiles, tracers, racists, the worst stuff in his community, and he has a moral standard that he needs to keep as someone who calls out people. He doesn't need to be a positive influence. He doesn't need to be any of that, but he has to have morals. He has to have a standard of excellence. And you wouldn't even give this black man the time of day to defend these bullshit racist claims. How can someone like that, who would not even let the accused defend themselves, be trusted with any other story or any other video or any other topic? In my opinion, I don't think he should be. It's just a prank, bro. Get trolled, liberal. You got Advil. Got him. So yeah, I took a little bit of Daft Pina's thing. I kind of took a page out of his book. To quote Soulja Boy, I stole his whole flow. That was so fucking stupid. I self-admittedly manipulated you. I'm not gonna hide it. That's exactly what I did. But what I did say was 100% true. That is the series of events that happened. That is exactly how it goes down. But I did the Daft Pina special and framed it in a way that made the person seem unforgivable. evil, vile, probably the worst person you've ever heard of, right? Rewatch the video and see how, like, and try to pick up on his manipulative tricks. He did it with Ethereon video. He did it with pretty much every video. And the worst example of it is with his Jaiden Animations video. The Jaiden Animations video was the worst example of that. Anyways. So what is a Jaiden Animations? If you watch Daft, you definitely know who she is, but just for consistency's sake, let me explain. She's a animation storytime YouTuber who's kind of branched off recently to do her own thing with over 10 million subscribers. Probably one of the biggest people that Daft has covered. And she is the cause for Daft's biggest controversy, which is he made a video about her video called Why I Don't Have a Face Reveal, which is her explaining her experience from suffering from anorexia. Daft made a scathing review of that video. He called her, he said that she was lying because she was happy at VidCon.
You know, the video she made highlighting the events where she felt deep misery and depression. The same video where she faked her personality and showing it to her entire YouTube audience. Now, I'll talk about this later in the video, but if she actually felt stressed about the video or the entire situation as a whole, you kind of wonder why she would even make the video in the first place. Anyway, back to the face reveal where she says,
I let people take pictures, but I really wish I didn't. It was the lowest I've ever felt in my life.
So much fun. Oh, it's so much fun. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alex is filming. Oh my god, behind the scenes. Oh my god, Disney.
Okay.
No. You shut the fuck up. So what this Sid the Sloth looking motherfucker is trying to say is that in 2016 VidCon, Jaiden, surrounded by her friends and fans, appeared to be in a good mood. No shit. And then 1 year later in 2017, she made a video talking about her anorexia and how she felt down about herself. And she, in retrospect, was talking about how she didn't feel like herself and felt like shit. Are you brain dead? He said that she was probably bipolar.
I told myself this was my punishment. I did this to myself.
Bumping just so as many people see us as possible. Wait, could Jaiden be bipolar? I can't prove this, of course, but we'll just put it in the things I think Jaiden might be.
He made up all this bullshit. And there's so much more that Daft has said about her that's just wrong in that video. Like how he mentioned that she is being dramatic and faking it because she was trying to make the audience understand how it felt when she was going through it with her animations. Like the name.
Waves kept coming, each one stronger than the last. But I kept going. I don't know why.
This practice is called making the video seem more serious than it actually is.
Oh, lol. Daft Pina said anorexia ain't serious. Oh, lol. But let me get deep and sentimental for a little bit. So I'm gonna turn on the face cam again. And I genuinely, me, not Advil, I don't get mad at online stuff. It's just online drama. Who cares? But watching his video about the situation made me genuinely pissed. Like, I actually had to stop watching it and get up just to walk away. It genuinely upset me. He deservingly got a lot of hate for that video. So what he did is he made a follow-up video talking about her music video about her bulimia. And what he did is he basically did the same thing, said that she's a bad person because she didn't donate money to a bulimia cause.
And the thought that you're not good enough can cause a person to self-inflict starvation based on negative thoughts in their head. And this is a terrible reality that some people go through daily. And so to help the cause, I'm gonna make a music video about bulimia and give none of the money to charity.
Woo! I also find this point hilarious because he didn't donate either. Idiot. Also in this video, he misrepresents what bulimia is, and he talks about his face reveal video where he says he doesn't see a problem with it and he'll just keep it up. What a fucking idiot. Of course, this was a while ago. Still, bad luck. And a year later, what he did is he said he learned his lesson and he deleted the original anorexia Jaiden Animations video. Problem is, he didn't delete the bulimia one, and he only deleted the video once it reached its peak views. Once he made as much money, it peaked at his third most popular video, and it was gone. What a good guy. It's just so hypocritical that he said he learned, but he only deleted one of the videos, the other one, and he has a history of harassing and attacking her. That's like his third or fourth video on her. It's insane. She's his golden goose, and it's absurd that he just doesn't stop bullying her. He decided to switch his targets from Jaiden Animations to smaller Twitter artists. It's just asinine. He claims that he's learned from his actions, but he only learns when it benefits from him. He got so much backlash, but he just swept it under the rug because that's who he is. He's a leech. He's a slimy leech. He's awful. I hate him. I hate. Daft Pina and manipulation go hand in hand. It's kind of like Twitch streamers and shilling money or having fake political opinions. But Daft doesn't like people to know about that. He kind of sweeps it under the rug, and he does a pretty good job at it. No one in his audience, including me before I started researching, really knew anything about his devious manipulation scandals. But don't worry, I'm here to hold your hand and help you along. This is what we call the mind of Daft Pina. You see, Daft Pina manipulates a lot, and it's common for YouTubers and content creators as that to manipulate regardless, you know, in their videos to make their point come across, to give emotion, whatever it is. Every content creator manipulates in some way, but at a certain point, it becomes a little bit too much. Daft Pina just doesn't manipulate, he cuts out context, he excludes information. He doesn't just manipulate, he lies. And even then, he still manipulates behind the scenes. Manipulation is to Daft Pina as breathing is to him also. It's just a part of his core. So I have 3 different examples of Daft manipulation, all ranging from different severities, kind of like hot ones. You know, you start with the easy one, then you make your way to the very hot, and then makes people shit themselves. You know. So to quote the Black Eyed Peas, let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. So TinaFate is a Twitter artist that mostly does the same stuff as Ethereon, you know, revolves around the NSFW, lewd, hentai category of Twitter. She's pretty big. She has over 200,000 followers, absolutely popping off. Then she got into a little bit of controversy for drawing Sora, the video game character, as a MILF, and oh my god, those curves. But separated from that, Daft got informed on some previous controversy that she had been in like 2 years ago about her saying the N-word and grooming a minor, which was honestly her when she was 19 talking sexually to someone that she presumed to be 17 and then sending her nudes, which kind of fucked up, but you know, it's all just a moral question. Yeah, there's some legality. Online legality, nothing really gets done, so it's just a moral question at that point. And he released a tweet saying if you had any info about her, please DM him. That's gonna be important later. And then almost a day later, Daft, like a fucking shark, prepared his attack. Like an absolute fucking crocodile. He slithered his way in there. He sent a tweet out talking about how Tina previously talked sexual with a minor and got them to send her nudes. And Tina, you know, being a little goofster, a little bit of a gaffster even, responded with this Twitter picture and goddamn. I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'll be taking over. Hey, I'm Strider, and if Addy asks what happened, just keep this between us, alright? I'm technically not supposed to be here, but anyways, let's just jump into it. So, after Tina tweeted that response out on October 10th, Daft Pina tweeted out this, quote, "Long before that tweet came out, I received several emails linking your real face and name to this TinaFate account. So sure, I sent you a friend request, let's video call and look down in your history, bro." After he tweeted that out, Twitter fucking exploded. People were claiming that Daft was threatening to dox Tina. It was constant and unrelenting. To be fair, I can't even blame people for assuming that. The vague and menacing aura made it seem like he was trying to abuse his power for content. Then, everything went silent. Until, on October 12th, Daft Pina released a tweet that says, quote, "David is catfishing/LARPing as @TinaFate1, lying to everyone about their identity. I have more proof and I don't want to dox anyone. This is the most direct evidence I will show for now. They posted old drone art, which is also attached to a Facebook account. I'm not making a YouTube video about this, end quote. Showing a blurred out picture of TinaFate's personal Facebook, showing that TinaFate isn't an actual woman, he is a man that goes by the name of David. And holy shit, this tweet was fucking stupid, and we'll get into that later. Over 4 hours later, Tina responded by saying that he is sorry for his actions and tricking his audience into believing that he isn't who he says he is. And there's a split right down the middle on what people think. Some people just don't care and think it's a good meme, and others are appalled and pissed. But my opinion is, oh fuck. Fuck. I think I hear Eddie coming back. Okay, just pretend I was never here. Alright, bye.
Hey baby, I hear the blues are calling, tossed salads and scrambled eggs. Mercy. And maybe I seem a bit confused. Yeah, maybe, but I got you pegged. But I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
Things I did to that jar. Now that you understand the backstory a little bit of what happened with TinaFate, let me dive deeper into give you an explanation of why it's in this category of the video. See, TinaFate scandal, Tina fucked up a lot, like majority of the time fucked up. But the worst part is the way that Daft handled it. While I was working on this video, actually, like a couple days ago, Daft came out with an apology to the TinaFate situation, how he handled it. And it was a really good apology, except for the fact that he never apologized. No, he said basically that he was sorry that people felt like he handled the situation wrong, but I'm not wrong because this person's still a bad person, and I never doxed them even though I showed their private information to a public audience. So before people go, but wait, it was on Facebook, it's publicly available, how is that doxing? What are you talking about, idiot? No, it was a Facebook account that was never meant to be seen by his audience, Daft Pina's audience, no one's audience. Are you fucking stupid? He did not want people in his audience to see that. If he did, he would have made it publicly available. He would have gone by David, he would have shown his face, but he didn't do that. So essentially, Daft Pina exposed his name, where he went to school, where he lived, where he lives now, and there's so much other shit. Let me fill you guys in on something, by the way. With Facebook's tools, you can basically search someone's name, location, and what school they went to. And by that, you can narrow down your search and find people that you're looking for. And if you were to do that, supposedly with information you got from a tweet, you would be able to dox them. But don't do that. Don't look up David's stuff. I'm pretty sure he deleted his account, but just thought I should throw that out there that is something that you can do on Facebook. Anyways, back to the main program. He claims that, no, I didn't do anything wrong. I was just covering my story. And he backpedals so hard. At first, he was being smug and acting like there's no way he was in the wrong for this. Then he had to backpedal. He said he didn't threaten anyone. He still used the private information to dox, to manipulate TinaFate into talking with him. And I don't know if this is true, but probably coming up with the apology. Because there's no way that Tina, with the way that he was tweeting out before, would have legitimately apologized for that. He did not seem sorry. It seems like he was forced into it by someone, not saying Daft, not saying that this is even how it worked, but just based on the tweets beforehand, it seems like he was forced or manipulated into it. And again, that's just the easiest, like the mild. It's time to go on to the next flavor, which is the Antoons video. So I'm pretty sure the Antoons video is one of Daft Pina's best videos. I'm only saying that because he didn't have as big of an opportunity to absolutely fuck it up. Mess the entire thing over like he did with the Ethereon video, but he still managed to mess up. So to give you some background, Antoons is a YouTuber and former political cartoonist, cartoon artist, whatever you want to call it. He made a lot of right-leaning, make fun of everyone comics that were very offensive. And I personally, not my thing, but you know, freedom of speech. And he was the perfect target for Daft. But what was so wrong with Daft video, you know, it's Daft Pina, he doesn't do anything wrong. Well, for one, he misrepresented a lot of the points. He said that it was a bad look to talk about a minor's genitals, which would be true, except he didn't do that. Antoons asked if a minor who's on her period, which, first of all, weird for a minor to be saying that on Twitter. He asked, do you have your period because I thought you were trans? It's not asking about the genitals, it's asking if they're trans.
Questioning the genitals of a minor who created the comic. Shortly after, Anton privated his own account after her fans came to defend her.
Also, small note, this isn't about that specifically, just online stuff in general. If you're pro someone, spamming and harassing someone is known as defending, but if you're against someone, they harassed you. It's pretty funny, and he says that Antoons fans harassed Puppy Chan later on.
But I will say, make it clear, don't Don't ask anyone about the genitals.
Daft and Antoons had an interview that lasted 6 hours, but it got cut down to 6 minutes for Daft's video. And Antoons provided me with screenshots that said that Daft was supposed to send the uncut, like completely raw footage to Antoons, and he never did it. He said he was going to upload it to his second channel, never did it. Said he was going to send it to him, never did. I checked his Discord, his second channel, his Twitter, and even his Patreon. I'm a Patreon of Daft. That's why you can't make fun of me. And he never uploaded that anywhere. And Daft, I'm speaking to you directly on this. You need to upload the full interview. For every video you interview someone on, and every video that you critique someone on, you have to upload the full interview to make sure that assholes like me cannot say that you're misrepresenting people or manipulating the situation. But it makes it seem like you are manipulating the situation because no one can double check you. You always have to cite your sources, and regardless if it's intentional or not, people are going to assume that it is manipulation, or that you're cutting contact, or that you're not giving the same equal opportunities that everyone else gets on your channel, on everything. Because if you don't do that, it's unfair to your viewers, unfair to the person you're making a video about, and unfair to yourself, because eventually you will be fucking yourself over if you do not give the proper credit and sources needed for the video. But even then, if Daft did cite all of his sources, cut the interview with exact context, made it absolutely perfect, he still would have messed up in the video, which is insane. Because do you remember that Twitter artist I was talking about that got Antoons in trouble for the whole misremembering trans thing? That artist was actually a big proponent of Antoons' massive controversy. It's a long story, long convoluted story, and I don't think there's enough time in this video to cover it. But I'm gonna link a bunch of different videos from each side of the spectrum of opinions talking about it, and you guys can just make up your own opinion on that. But after Daft's video came out, PuppyCham, which was the person who Antoons was beefing with, and Antoons decided to DM over Twitter and talk it out, and they decided to talk it out, and they even came up with this cute little picture to say that they squashed the beef, until Daft had to get involved like he always does, little fucking snake. And he showed a screenshot from Antoons saying that he was planning to backstab PuppyCham as soon as she turned 18. Good evidence. That would be insightful. Except for the fact that A, you're trying to ruin this thing that you cared so deeply about and was such a bad thing even after it was all solved. The screenshots out of context, because if you actually read them, definitely not backstabbing. At most it was trying to indoctrinate their audience into his. Very Hannibal Lecter-like, but definitely not backstabbing. There's nothing backstabbing about that. But instead of reaching out to Antoons, asking if these screenshots are in full context, asking for full context if not, or even asking if they're real, he did not reach out to Antoons, which he had full capability of doing through Twitter, through Discord, through even Instagram. He had full possibilities to reach through to Antoons because they had made connection before, but he didn't decide to do that. Instead, he pulled the trigger and just said, fuck it, and sent them out, and ruined what messed up their entire audience for both of them. Both of them got massive amounts of hate, which could have just been solved and finished if Daft Pina just chilled out, or at least asked Anton beforehand. It's not a good light, but it's not, massive. But I'm just gonna leave this segment with this clip, and let's go on to the next one right after this.
However, if you want an audience member to understand your point of view, then you should use citations, as using strong accusations against someone will make you look bad if you can't back your arguments up.
So this part of the video is going to be talking about how Daft handled the Cosmodore situation. Well, his actual video on the situation was not bad at all. It's the conduct that he did outside the video, beforehand and afterwards, that I'm going to be criticizing. Now, to get some backstory, Cosmodore is a YouTuber who made videos on cartoons. He released a community post talking about how he was dating a 15-year-old while he was 19. And his main defense was that the age of consent in Germany was 14, which is true if both parties are under 18, and he wasn't. Now, Cosmodore and this girl didn't end up well. She dipped, she left him because he was being creepy, obviously, and Cosmodore made a server with a bunch of other minors to rant and vent about this girl. And one of the people in that server was very important to the story. His name is Dylan. Dylan was a 14 to 15-year-old fan of Cosmo. He was an artist, he made YouTube videos, and he got invited to the server, and so, of course, he was extremely hyped. But when Cosmodore dropped his community tab post, he smelled out as many people as he could, like a shark with blood. Classic Daft Pina move. This is a Daft Pina moment. And he ran to Dylan's DMs and asked him for whatever information he could get, screenshots, stories, anything he can get. And Dylan was obviously skeptical because Cosmodore was someone that he was friends with and that he looked up to, so of course he wouldn't want to rat out his friend. It seemed like it affected him a lot, and it was a lot to process at the moment that Daft Pina was coming at him. And Dylan asked Daft some questions, and Daft completely ignored those. He was not interested. He just wanted information. So what he did is Daft keep on pushing, and he said that if you do not give me this information, you will be helping the groomer. You will be aiding the groomer, which I don't want to have to tell you why that's so fucked up. So Dylan obviously gave him the information because he just wanted to be left alone. Then when Daft released his video, he made a lot of tweets, just angry tweets, which is fair because there's a lot of emotions at the time. And Daft saw those and made a comment talking shit about him on the video. And that is just like completely fucked up. There's not a lot that I could say or like add to this. It's just bad. And if you don't see that, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm just gonna try to use Daft's own wording. You are just as bad as a manipulator. So, now for the final part in this over 30-minute long video. 30 minutes? What the? Jesus. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hate you. Now, this section is going to be talking about Daft's constant fear of his PR and wanting to hide as much bad stuff about him as possible. Whether that be him never bringing up his tracing history with anyone, even though he claims constantly that he has. Him non-stop deleting a bunch of incriminating tweets. It was so hard to find tweets about anything with Daft, except for this one. He tried to at Shadman. Kind of funny. Even kicking me out of his Discord server for putting the Antoons video in there. I didn't do anything. I was just trying to inform the masses. I don't see what the problem is. What is this? Communist China? Wait, what do you mean? I'm not allowed to call him Winnie the Pooh, apparently? But no, this section is not dedicated to any of that. None of that is going to appear in this in detail. This section is about something you probably haven't heard of, which makes sense, especially if you're a Daft viewer. Do you remember that show I was talking about in the Ethereon section? Shreddit? Well, they had some kerfuffles, some scuffles with Mr. Pina himself. To give some backstory, Shreddit, not a big channel at all. They have less subscribers than me, which makes sense because I'm just a better YouTuber and I am better than everything that they have ever created. Now, if you go to his Discord server and mention Shreddit or anything revolving around Shreddit and what happened, you will get your message deleted and get a mod message, which happened to me and happened to a bunch of other people, and it's really fucking funny. So, to give context, in Daft's video about Ethereon, he mentioned Shreddit. He brought them up, showed clips of them out of context, and did not give them the proper name. He called them the r/podcast, I think that's what it was.
During one of the r/videos, Aiden the group read a post regarding a mom getting their kid to apologize for saying a racist joke to a delivery man.
The Shreddit people obviously didn't like that because small channel. This video had over 200,000 views. It could have really helped them. And so one of the members, Reborn, brought this up in his server, asked him, hey, why didn't you give us the proper credit? Well, and Daft said, well, you see, I included your name in the title. And if people really wanted to search you out, they would have, which is the worst argument I've ever heard for what he could have said, because the video did not properly show what Shreddit was. He did not explain what they were. He did not show any context to give what they are. All he did was show out of context clips of Aether saying bad stuff and use them in there. The credit he gave him was a 30-second clip that included their name and title in a very small box, where Shreddit wasn't even the subject of the frame that he was showing. So with Daft's logic, people are supposed to understand what the show is about, find them entertaining in the short, out of context clips that he provided, and be able to seek them out without giving them proper credit, naming them, or even being able to see their name for around 30 seconds, which is impossible. I don't think he believes his argument at all, but it's still stupid, which is insane because he's called out so many other YouTubers for not giving proper credit.
Team of people working for him, he doesn't like to credit them with a dead link. Uh-oh. You would think that he would be on top of this, considering that he doesn't upload often. But oh wow.
And he can't even be held to the same standard that he sets. And as a 200 sub channel, this could have helped him out a lot. You know, 200,000 views isn't a small margin, especially for a channel that size. So I don't understand what the problem was. And as someone who tries to support smaller communities by calling out the racist and the liars and all the other stuff, he couldn't even support them by giving them the smallest amount of credit, or even tweeting them out once they mentioned this and brought it to his face. I just had a thought. Or he could do what so many other commentary YouTubers do and just credit them in the bottom right or bottom left corner, put their name, and it solves every predicament he could be in. All this stuff could have literally been solved, and it's not that big of a deal if this was the pure thing that Daft was being called out for. If this was it and he didn't do anything else, that wouldn't have been a big deal. It would have been fine. Who would have cared? But that mixed with everything else in this video, him constantly being hypocritical and having this moral high ground where he believes that because he's a commentator, he can't do any wrong. And no, his friends backing him up on everything. He doesn't do anything wrong. He already apologized. Oh, golly jeepers. No, that's not how it works, because he could have easily just tweet out, hey, I got the guy wrong, or even subtweet it under the Ethereon video, hey, I got this channel wrong, show them some support. It would have been the easiest thing possible, and he just could not do that because his pride would not allow him to. So brain dead logic. His logic is so stupid on this. So I think it's kind of cringe and how unfair that Daft calls out all these people for all this bad shit that they do. I think it's kind of cringe how Daft calls out all these people and holds them accountable for all the bad shit that they did, which is good. But he won't allow himself to be the same kind of accountable. He won't let this negativity wear him down, apparently. So let's bring it to his front door and make sure that he can see this. I think it'd be good for him to acknowledge this video. So let's make sure he sees it by tweeting at him #credit shredded on Twitter. Let's see if I can get it trending, because that would be fucking hilarious. And I have a few special things for the end of the video. One, I'm going to be donating $25 to eating disorder and mental health charities. You know, just do more than he did for his bulimia video. And I'm also, to make sure that you greedy little goblins get your sustenance, I'm going to be giving away a drawing tablet to anyone that tweets at Daft, credit shredded, and the video. I'll be picking one of you guys. But I appreciate you guys watching this, and I want to say thank you to myself and the rest of Daft's patrons for just sticking with him, and maybe rethink your decision like I will. Weird ending. I don't know how to end videos.
Matty Dub on the track, dripping so clean, got some sluts on the track. He asked me to come on the track, we a chill shoot, running a train on the track. Fantano is dead if he don't give it 10. I sent out some shooters to make his life end. Kicking his door, make him squeal like a pig, and then caps ball ass, let him click in a pen. Now I'm stacking the cash, and it's tall like a mountain, got boys at me like it was blowback.